We all know that leadership plays a fundamental role in our everyday lives, be it our family, our workplace, it's all around us. I think leadership is particularly important in the education system, where strong leadership has the potential to both change lives and give children the opportunities for the optimum success in later life. My dissertation topic is looking into the leadership styles of schools which have been particularly commended for strong leadership. And I'm looking for schools which have improved in their rankings on the official league tables. And when noticing these schools, I've looked into the reports, and the ones which have been particularly identified as leadership being the reason for this change are the ones which I'm looking to focus on. Why have I chosen this topic? I attended a fairly underprivileged school growing up. There were a lot of behavioural issues that went unaddressed, and as a result some of the teachers just didn't really care much about student well-being or their jobs. I think that strong leadership would have addressed this issue and improved the situation greatly. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Ofsted have placed particular focus on leadership as of late, so I think the topic is quite fresh and facing a lot of attention at the moment in the media and within Ofsted officials. Sir Michael Wilshaw says that strong leadership is the key factor for a high-performing school. I always said when growing up that you can change the school but you can't change the students, but I'm hoping to be proven wrong in this dissertation and find that schools have managed to turn it around and make the students embrace their education rather than otherwise. The topics that I am mainly looking for within the leadership styles of the schools are distributed leadership, leading change, and transformational leadership. I think distributed leadership is particularly key because a school is so big and it has one head and many teachers. Therefore, the head can't be running everything. So obviously middle management, heads of department are created, and then the teachers themselves. I'm looking to see how well this leadership is distributed in the school and to what effect, whether the teachers are happy with the amount of responsibility given to them, whether they think they could be given more, and whether they think that the middle management think the same. I'm going to ask how much support is given to the staff as well. So whether they're allowed to just run free, or whether the head teacher still has some kind of control over them and ensures that they are performing to the best of their ability. The second aspect of leadership that I'm looking for is resistance to change. Obviously, I'm looking for schools which have changed and gone up in the rankings. This would have required some amount of change, and as we all know, people don't like change, so I'm sure there was some kind of resistance at some point in one of these schools. I want to see how this resistance was dealt with, how it was communicated to the staff from the head teacher, and resultingly how the middle management communicated it and whether it was consistent. I want to see the accounts of the teachers who were resistant to the change and see the account from the head teacher about how they dealt with them and managed to bring them around to accept the change. I also think it would be interesting to look into how the accounts differ between head teachers who have just entered the school, like when the change needed to be enacted, or existing teachers that realised that a change needed to be made and so consequently made the change. I think this would be interesting to look into because it will go into issues of respect and likability, really, and how charismatic the new teachers were when entering, because they would have had to have got everyone on board straight away. The third aspect that I'm looking for is transformational leadership. Now, transformational leadership is in every recent bit of literature, first made by Besson of Olio. This is basically the nurturing of your staff. So I want to look into how the teacher supports the staff, how he motivates them, how they are given the opportunity to succeed above expectations, etc. So I want to look if there's any of these aspects evident in the school. I want to also see what the teacher's account of the head teacher is themselves. So whether they believe that the head teacher is a good leader, whether they think any of the aspects of transformational leadership are resounding in his styles. I want to see whether he whether he has the respect of his teachers and whether they follow his command, etc. All parts of transformational leadership. The method, I'm going to be interviewing the head teachers and the teachers face to face, hopefully. If unable to do so, I will do phone conversations, but I think face to face will give me a full account of the actual goings on. I'm also going to use schools within the southwest of England. This being because the southwest of England has been particularly pinpointed as having a fairly poor schooling system, with a lot of underperforming schools, especially in the Swindon and Bournemouth area. I think that the schools that are doing well would be interesting to look at in this region, to act as maybe a kind of a reflection of how others should perform. Obviously the data is going to be qualitative, so I'm going to probably do a tick sheet, which I have myself, which ticks off certain things. I'm hopefully going to be able to record the interviews as well to be able to get a full account. That would help me out greatly, but obviously without permission I will have to take notes. I want to interview the teachers as well, because I think this gives me a better account of both the aspects of transformational leadership, of all of them really, of distributed and leading change, because it gains the full picture. With transformational leadership I can find out their opinions of the teacher. With distributed leadership I can find out their opinions of the form of distributed leadership and how they think it is. And with leading change, obviously they were the ones that were being led, so I want to know how they embrace the change. So I think interviewing the teachers will be particularly important in this. I'm doing 4 public schools and 4 academy schools, all within obviously the southwest, and I've sampled these through looking at ones that changed between the 2013 to the 2014 official league tables, then finding the Ofsted reports for these particular schools, and looking at the ones that were commended for leadership. There are a few limitations to my study, one being that it's a micro study. I'm only doing 8 schools, so it's not going to get a full reflection of what every school in England is like or how every school in England should be. Obviously it's going to be fairly objective, but I would like to see certain aspects of best practice that could maybe be mirrored by underperforming schools in the future. This leads me on to my second point, which I think that to get a full picture, maybe interviewing the underperforming schools would gain an account of what difference the good leadership styles are making and how they could improve the underperforming schools. So maybe that would be something to continue the research in the future with. Obviously observing the teachers gives way for dissemination and kind of an account of what they want you to hear rather than what you're actually hearing. I'm hoping that I've addressed this enough by interviewing a full amount of people, but at the same time it could lead to self-bettering kind of conduct from all the teachers. So final points, ethical issues are confidentiality. I won't name any of the schools or any of the teachers, and when getting the information from the teachers, I'll get a list of a lot of teachers from the head to interview and pick some out at random. So then the head teacher, if observing the piece once finished, wouldn't be able to know what particular teachers have said what. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope it's interesting when it's finished.